Lumber in the US is sold by the board foot, but that can be a little bit confusing. If you go to big sellers, it's pretty standardized, but if you go to the local sawyers, sometimes they get a bit weird in how they measure it. Board foot is a volume measurement. It is length by width by thickness, and you multiply those together and you find out how many cubic inches you have, and that's what it is. So 144 cubic inches is one board foot. In other words, 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 inch thick is one board foot. Wait a second, this board isn't 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 inch, it's 15.5 by 8.5 by 3/4. Most places are just going to round up or round down the board by whatever it is. Most good ones will round it down, so they'll only call this 1 foot long. But some weird ones out there will actually round it up, and this now became twice the price. But wait, it's only 3/4 inch thick. So that means it's only 3/4 of a board foot, right? Well, no, this board is planed, and the measurement is usually off of the rough cut size. If it's rough sawn, then it's probably going to be 4/4 or 1 inch thick, and you can take a 4/4 inch board and you're going to assume you're going to plane it down to 3/4 inch. So a 3/4 inch planed board is an equivalent to a 1 inch rough sawn board. But what if my board has live edges and the thickness varies along the length of the board? Well, in that case, most sawyers are going to take the average. Most sawyers are going to take the narrow side of the board. They're going to say, on average, this looks to be about 8 inches. It goes from 8.5 down to 7.5, so 8 is average. Therefore, the board is 8 inches wide. Some sawyers, though, will measure the wide portion of the board because you might want the live edges. And in that case, they may actually measure what is the widest section of the board. Other sawyers want to give you the benefit of the doubt, and they'll measure the narrowest section of the board. And this all makes it kind of confusing because different people are going to interpret it slightly differently. And when you're buying one board, that can make a big difference. Depending upon how you round it, this board could be 1 board foot or 2 board foot, depending upon how you want to round it around. But if I'm buying a whole stack of lumber, it's really not going to make that big a difference because the rounding is going to be on the stack, and 1 board foot out of 400 is really not going to make that big a difference. And then sometimes it's just about how that particular individual feels about you. If you are the annoying person who's digging through the stack looking for that 1 board and walking away with 1 board, and now they have to go back and restack that whole pile, then they're probably going to be measuring your board on the harsh side. And when you're talking to a local sawyer, a lot of times it just depends on how good a friend are you. If you're a good friend to them and they want to help you out, then great. If you're an annoying person, then this board just doubled in price. And this is the very reason why sometimes when you get up from sitting down for very long, your feet are asleep because, well, they're board foot.